Hi guys, it's Khyati here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be doing the Premier League season predictions 2020-2021 and this is my first video, so please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll not waste much time and let's just get right into it. So I'll be discussing the relegation teams, the bottom half of the table, the middle half of the table and the top 6, along with the best transfer window, the possible star players to look out for the entire season, and also probably the golden boot top scorer predictions. So since the transfer window is still going to be open till the 5th of October, and that's still a month down the line, there are going to be many major changes in the predictions because there are still many players linked to several clubs. So there might be many different changes in the clubs and the entire predictions could, turn around. Which is why I will not be giving any concrete numbers or ranks, and I'll just give a little ballpark where I'll just keep all the possible changes in mind and give the predictions accordingly. Okay, so I'll start with the relegations first. This time the bottom half of the table was almost as competitive as the top half, which is why it was a little difficult choosing the relegation teams. So two of them I think for sure which are going to get relegated are Fulham and West Brom. There's no question about that. I might be wrong, but at least for now there's no question about that. And the third team was a little difficult to select, but I think I'm gonna go ahead with Aston Villa. The first team which I think is most likely to get relegated is Fulham. They beat Brentford in the Championship and reached the Premier League, but I think they absolutely lack the squad depth to compete with other Premier League teams and to stay in the Premier League for very long, which they're not going to. I think they're going to be the first team to get relegated. They didn't really do much this summer. They got an Anthony Knockaert and Anthony Robinson, and I think that's about it. There's Mitrovic who could perform well because he has been in the Premier League before, but they need to strengthen their squad to no bounds, and which they really haven't done this time. And there's only this one player, Mitrovic, who could possibly perform well, and but the entire squad as a whole really lacks what it takes to stay in a Premier League, especially compared to the other teams. Even their manager, Scott Parker, I think he's like just a baby among the managers. I hate to talk this way, but the other teams are probably just going to eat Fulham alive because they just don't have it in them. The same squad what Fulham has right now, I think it was more or less the same team that was there 2 years ago also, which got relegated, and they haven't made any major changes and they just don't have it in them. They're not good enough to stay in the Premier League. The next team that is very likely to get relegated is West Brom, and this will really come to as no surprise to any of you considering their performance. So West Brom is sometimes a very strong team, like it has been in the past, because as far as I remember it has had some very great players, but they really need to strengthen the squad right now, which they didn't do much summer. They aren't spending money on what they need. It's like they need more Premier League experience, they need more forward players. They've signed I think 4 players this summer, but none of them meet the standard, and their squad as a whole I think is just very weak to compete in the Premier League with other teams. See, Slaven Bilic is a good manager, okay, but with West Brom the thing is there's no guarantee, there's no surety of the team. It's just full of possibilities, in the sense it's just full of question marks, like okay, West Brom could possibly do this, there's a chance they could do this, and there's no surety you have in the team. There's one Pereira, but again, like Mitrovic, he's just one good player. When the rest of the team does not perform to his level, what is he even going to do? There's also a possibility they could sell Pereira. So just considering all this, I conclude that West Brom is going down with Fulham. The next team I have written down here is Aston Villa, and honestly with all the memes that were being made on it, it would have been very unfair to not have included them in this list. I'm just joking, but even other than that, Aston Villa did not have a very great season last time. Honestly, it was just in the last few games, I think they somehow managed to keep themselves in the league, otherwise they would have definitely gotten relegated. One was that, and second was their star player Jack Grealish. I mean, if it wasn't for Jack Grealish, there was no chance they would have been in the Premier League right now, and that is also a question now, because if somehow they manage to keep Jack Grealish and he is still in the same form as what he was in the last season, then there is a slight slight chance that they might still manage to stay in the league and not get relegated. But if they lose Jack Grealish, then there is no chance they'll be in the Premier League. It's 100% they're getting relegated, and also depends on Jack Grealish's form. So he's like the only thing that is keeping the team together. They should have done very well in the transfer market this season, which they did not. They spent like I think over 60 million pounds on these two players, Matty Cash and Ben. I think I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but they need good strikers, which they didn't sign any nice ones. And last season also, even other than this part, last season also I think they spent around 140 million or something, and they still somehow managed to struggle the entire league and lose more than 20 games or something. So I think this team is just absolutely hopeless. They don't have good team dynamics, they don't have a good team structure, they don't have any good attackers. And honestly, this might be sounding a little brutal, but honestly, if it's not for Jack Grealish, this team is absolutely useless. And I'm saying all this right now, and it'll be good to see if they somehow surprise and manage to stay in the Premier League. But if you actually just watch their games, you'll realize how much they don't have what it takes to stay in the Premier League. At least that's the scenario right now. Like for all you know, they somehow magically make some very important signings in this month and just turn the team around and stay in the league, then that's a completely different scenario. But at least looking at the position right now, no, they're not staying in the league. Also, before I forget, do go check out my Instagram account @Khyati. The link is in the description below, where before this I posted some UCL predictions and reviews, and I'll also be further posting some short videos on the upcoming matches. And along with this, do go follow Football SZN on Instagram, whose link I am adding in the description too. They are, no cap, till now the best football page I have come across, with the most exclusive football news you will get before any other page posts it, and you'll get match links, you'll get daily regular football updates for every single thing happening in the game. So do go follow them without fail, okay? Thank you so much. So that was for the relegation teams, which I think according to the current position, these are the ones who are going to get relegated, though I could be highly wrong, and it's very dicey. All the predictions are going to be extremely dicey because the transfer window is still open till 5th of October. That's still one whole month down the line, so you really never know what team makes what changes, but I think I'm gonna stick with these relegations for now. Okay, so now moving on to the bottom half of the table, that is the 16th and the 17th position. I'm going to go with Brighton and West Ham in no particular order. Okay, so first starting with Brighton, I think Brighton are not going to go any below 17th, and they're going to stay up in the Premier League and not get relegated, as how every year everybody predicts them to do so. But they always manage to stay in the league, and I think they have definitely strengthened over time. And even right now in the transfer window, I think they had some very good transfers with Adam Lallana, which was a very great deal I felt, and also Joel Veltman from Ajax. So definitely these are definitely going to be assets for them. Also Ben White has come back in a good form from Leeds, so that's going to help them too. And I think Brighton are just very well coached, so they are definitely going to stay up in the Premier League around 16th, 17th, 15th place only. It has to be one of these three. Next, talking about West Ham, I actually don't have anything much to say about West Ham. Last time they came 16th in the table, and I think this time also it's going to be somewhere around that only, 15th, 16th or 17th, because they did have some okay transfers, and I don't think they've strengthened very greatly or even weakened at all. They are going to maintain the same form this season as well, as what I feel, and they're going to keep their place in the Premier League and land somewhere between the 15th to 17th position. The next middle bottom half, from 11th to 15th, I am going to go with Southampton, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Newcastle and Burnley in no particular order. Crystal Palace is going to end up in the top half of this. At first, I was predicting them in the 16th or 17th position, or even possible relegation. But now Zaha is not going anywhere, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to let him leave anymore. And plus, they signed Batshuayi, which is a very good transfer, and that's definitely going to be an asset for that team. and that was exactly what they needed. So I think Crystal Palace has definitely strengthened a lot. Like last season was also okay, it wasn't that bad. Like they did end in a very poor form, but I think they're gonna come out of it, and this time they're gonna perform very well. Crystal Palace is a good team. Leeds too, along with Crystal Palace, is going to be in the top half of this. I think they have very rightfully won their place back in the Premier League after a very long wait, and Bielsa alone is capable enough to make them stay in the top half of this. They played glorious football and deservingly won the championship last season. And they've got a lot of youth, zeal, and energy in the club. And I think they're going to be great to watch this season. And they're very easily going to be in the top half of this category. Sean Dyche has definitely done a damn impressive job last season with Burnley ranking 10th, and this season also I think he's gonna keep up that form, though he's gonna have to work a little harder with the players he lost and that restricted budget of his, but he's gonna definitely make it, and Burnley this time again will rank somewhere between 11th to 15th. Southampton, I think, are going to have a pretty decent season this time. Last time they just had that one very bad match against Leicester, but other than that, they did turn the season around, and I think they did a pretty impressive and stable job. And this time too, it's going to be quite similar, and they'll rank again somewhere between 11th to 15th. They play pretty decent football actually, so I think they should keep up that standard. And also, I think Ralph Hasenhüttl has a lot of potential, so it should be a decent season for them. So I've actually had to change my location a bit, but now moving on to the upper half of the table, that is 7th to 10th. The 4 teams I have here are Wolves, Everton, Sheffield and Leicester, again in no particular order. I actually don't have a lot to say about it, so I'm just going to very quickly go over all of these teams. First, starting with Leicester. So Leicester was 5th last time, but this time I think the top 6 are just extremely strong for Leicester to be possibly able to beat and reach there. But I think this time they have a very similar construct as the last, so they're going to be somewhere around the 7th and 8th itself, with Jamie Vardy still being their star. So next is Sheffield. I think Chris Wilder is a very decent manager, and I'm very sure that he is definitely going to find a way to, maintain a similar rank as last time with no particular drastic rise or fall as such. So they're going to have a pretty similar form. Next is Wolves. I'm honestly a little confused about Wolves. They did come 7th last time, but this time they lost Matt Doherty, and until and unless they find a good replacement, it's going to be pretty dicey for them, which is why I'm a little unsure, but I'm still gonna go ahead with putting them in with somewhere ranking between 7th to 10th only. Okay, so the next one is Everton. Everton was 12th last season, but they had a pretty impressive transfer window this time. And Carlo Ancelotti is definitely not somebody you can underestimate. I think he's basically just rebuilt the entire crux of the team, the entire midfield in the transfer window this time. And I'm pretty convinced they're going to rank higher up as last time, which is why I'm saying between 7th to 10th. Now for the final top 6, I've already mentioned all the other teams, so it's obvious who the top 6 are going to be, but anyways. So again, in no particular order, the 5th, 4th and 3rd position, according to me, is going to be Spurs, Arsenal and Manchester United. First, talking about Spurs, I know Mourinho is very unpredictable, but this time I think he's going to aim for the top 4. I mean, that's a little difficult to say, but Spurs is definitely going to be in the top 6 without a doubt. They have some very great personalities: Harry Kane, Hugo Lloris, Son, Lucas, to just name a few. Though sometimes it can get a little tricky with Spurs and they really need to work on some new season tactics. But I think Mourinho is really going to be aiming for the top 4. Now talking about Arsenal, they had an amazing transfer window. They got the correct defense, they got the right midfield, they got more attacking backup, and Mikel Arteta is such a promising manager. He's going to do wonders is what I feel. With the FA Cup and Community Shield last time, this time they're going to give a very difficult run for the top 4, though I think they should land somewhere about 5th hopefully, and they still have the star Aubameyang with them, which I feel he's going to be a strong contender for the Golden Boot. And the next one now, Manchester United. Honestly, I'm not a very big fan, and that is also only because of their fans, because they can get very annoying and get on your nerves. But nonetheless, They've had a pretty good transfer window this summer, and they've definitely strengthened the team, which will very easily give a run for the top four. And if at all they're able to sign Sancho, then I think they could also reach top three. They also need another centre back for support, which they probably might sign in the coming days. But even other than that, I think their side looks pretty strong. For the third place, I think everybody knows who it's going to be, without a doubt, Chelsea. With this kind of a transfer window, Abramovich has emptied their pockets completely, but it's going to be definitely worth it with that extraordinary young talent they've gotten in return. Where do I even start? Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva. The team is just overflowing with talent, and that was just the start of it. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they build up on the side of theirs, and definitely reach top three. Now for the first and second one, this was so difficult to predict because both these teams have been dominating the Premier League, and they've been scoring goals and earning points left, right and center, and it's unbelievable. With both the sides being kind of equally strong, and even though Liverpool won the trophy last season, this time I'm going with Man City winning the Premier League. They've been on a remarkable run, at least since the past 2 years that I've been watching. And last season also they scored 102 goals. 102 goals is what they scored. And they were only a little weak in the defense, on which Pep has already worked. He signed Nathan and also the link to a few more players, which for all you know they might actually end up getting with the remaining time left. And Pep is very ambitious, especially in the last season when they missed the Champions League and the Premier League by just a few points. This time he's going to go all out and get Man City their trophy back. While Liverpool has definitely picked up great momentum after being crowned the champions last season, I am a little doubtful whether they would be able to maintain the same in the season commencing tomorrow. They don't really have any obvious weaknesses as such, and the team is so strongly knit with great players to cover every single position. And it's going to be very close between Man City and Liverpool. Both of them are great teams in a great form, and I think at the end of the day, by the end of the season, it's just going to be a matter of luck and the last few matches. But for now, I am predicting Manchester City to be crowned the champions of Premier League 2020-2021. And that is it with my predictions for the Premier League 2020-21 table. And for the rest of it, that is the best transfer window, the underrated managers, the key players to look out for this season. I'll be making a separate video for it and posting it soon. Thank you so much for watching this. Do drop down in the comment section below what are your predictions and what do you think about these. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, do go check out my Instagram channel and also follow Football SZN on Instagram. All the links are in my description below.